Happy Monday, little Smokies. We appreciate you coming back today, and we've got a pretty good episode in store for you. Should be fun, and we appreciate you being here. So without further ado, let's get into it. Da, 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 da. We have returned. Hello. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Back
What do you
again.
mean we've returned? We haven't been gone that long, right?
Well, no, but we still returned. I mean,
We're as regularly scheduled.
we are, which towards the end of this episode, we'll fill you in on the schedule after this episode, because that'll be changing just for a temporary situation. But yes, we are back as we should be on a Monday morning. As? What are you trying to say?
As asked.
Who asked us to be here? I'm sure nobody.
All the subscribers.
Well, yes, and for that, thank you all for returning. We do appreciate it. Of course, as per usual, please subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Hopefully you guys caught the last episode on Ashley Madison. If you didn't, it is up. Check that out.
Whore.
Yeah, that Ashley Madison, man, she sure is a dirty little girl. So without further ado, today our episode is on, drumroll,
Dancing with the Devil. I got it right.
Yes, you did.
Not Dancing with Wolves.
Well, you sort of got it right. It's Dancing for the Devil, the Netflix documentary that we watched.
Yeah, new. It's relatively new, right? Came out not that long ago.
Of all the things that I took notes on, I didn't look that up. So we could look that up real quick, just so everybody can know when it came out.
Well, it's been added to Netflix recently. So, Dancing for the Devil.
Oh, May 29th.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, so recently.
3 episodes.
Yep. 3-episode docu-series, right? Yeah.
I'm not the one to ask.
Well, yeah, if I asked you, you'd say it was a biography or something.
It's a docu-series. Yeah, it's a docu-series.
So that's what we're actually going to be talking about today. So it's a documentary that kind of sheds light on alleged abuse, manipulation, and exploitation. All the things that we look forward to watching in our spare time. But it's about these young dancers. It's how it starts out, at least. But for me, I think my biggest takeaway was the Shekinah. I don't know how to pronounce it. The church. Shekinah. Wow. Shekinah. Thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, the church. Because that I think the dancer situation just kind of shed light on the church. I'm glad you're entertained here. You having a good time?
I am. Sorry.
Good. It's a good day. She got some vitamin D, right?
Yeah, I did.
Just the vitamin, but that's okay. It still helps. So
sorry, go ahead.
So it's for me, the church situation is a lot more questionable and troubling than the dancer situation, because they brought the dancers into the whole church fold, and then that's what, So we're going to give you guys some information about all of the things that we saw in the documentary. If you haven't seen it, don't want spoilers. Well, spoiler alert, there's going to be spoilers in here. It's not going to be as thorough, though, if you want to actually watch it, of course. So
the fold of the church. I'm still stuck on that. Why do you have to describe it as bringing them into the fold?
It's a turn of phrase. It's just, you know what I mean? How, okay, You give me a way to describe that. Help me out. Help me.
They brought them into the cult.
Okay,
They see?
fair point. But bringing them into the fold of the church is the you just don't like it because you're envisioning a fold of some sort. I don't even want to. We're done here. Are we in
Okay.
agreement? Are we done? I won't say fold for the rest of this
Thank
episode if I
you.
can help it.
I would appreciate that.
I hope I don't have anything to fold in front of you, which is funny that I said that because I actually have a question for you real quick before we get
Yes.
rolling into all the fun facts.
Yeah.
If you woke up one day and discovered you had a superpower, but it was something mundane, like being able to instantly fold laundry or perfectly parallel park every time, what would your super mundane superpower be?
Parallel parking would be good. I think I would be like a superhero vacuumer.
All right, so elaborate a little bit because I'm having a hard time. What exactly does that mean? Like you are the vacuum?
I don't know.
You're
He
just
said,
Hoover and everything?
yeah,
Like yourself? Or you're just sucking this stuff up? Or are you talking about like you're just quick draw McGraw with the Dyson?
yeah, with the Dyson and just like super speed vacuumer.
Okay.
So now, what would
Okay.
yours be?
I actually didn't think about that.
Well,
Um,
see if you can beat mine.
Something super mundane, but I can't steal yours. See, my instinct says be a super vacuumer, but can't do that now because
Just
that's
say
already
that.
taken. Um, all right, a super duster. How about that? Because
I knew you were gonna say that.
did you?
Yep,
Were you inside my head there?
I knew it.
I despise dusting,
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
and it's always in the most random dumb places too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty mundane. So everybody, if you've made it this far,
Thank you.
comment below. What would your super mundane superpower be? I'm interested to know. I have another question for Simone to close the episode out with, but I'll hold on to it
Ooh,
until the
the
end. Yes.
suspense.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. You can't. There's a rule though. The next one you can't ask me because
Okay.
spoils it. I don't have fun things to say. You do.
Sometimes.
So let's start. Let's start with what some could say is like the allure of stardom with this 7M cult, this TikTok cult. And to be fair, I will say this 7M does not advertise itself as a cult. So at least there's that. Um, what they do, what this 7M company does is essentially they're like a talent company. And they promise aspiring dancers that were on TikTok because it's TikTok. Everybody knows about TikTok. You guys know how popular that is. They were basically saying, we'll help you get to fame and fortune. And the social media success, as well as what most people do when they're trying to be social media stars, they basically said that they can help them. They can give them opportunities or get them into opportunities that they wouldn't have had otherwise and things like that. Sounds like a sweet gig.
Yeah.
Um, so the dancers that are in this, there's a whole bunch of dancers that come up. I do have the list of names. I feel it's not very helpful to just list them off for people. As they come up, of course, we'll discuss. But the big ones that come out first and foremost are Melanie and Miranda Wilkins, the Wilkins sisters.
Did you ever hear of them before this?
Absolutely not. And fun fact, it's because I don't have social media, probably. That
Ooh.
would be a big reason why.
I ain't heard of them either, and I have social media, so.
I would think you'd have to be watching things or interested in things like dancing and things of that sort, though, right? For
Right.
you to have come across it. So, and all it is, you guys, what these dancers do is there's clips of popular songs and they dance to them in locations. It could be in the street, it could be at a special boardwalk, all over the place. The thing is that they're really good too. It's not like me and Simone can go and bust a
Eh,
move on a TikTok. It's your Britney Spears dance,
yes.
with the knives. This
Yeah.
isn't what we're talking about. We're talking about real talent. Okay, so
That's offensive. You didn't think my knife dance required real talent?
I didn't see it for starters, but also going out on a limb, since you said it was plastic cutlery, I'm going to say probably not.
That's fair point. Continue.
So, Miranda of the two sisters, so Melanie and Miranda were dancers. What they were doing when they were growing up is they were, auditioning for things, but they liked to dance together. I
Oh,
have often wondered what this whole thing is with siblings who, like, I don't know, like each other and get along. It's very, very foreign territory for me, but they really liked each other. They were each other's bestest friends and they were gonna, be each other's maids of honor and all of that. So,
well, they're pretty close in age, and I think that helps.
oh, I didn't even take into consideration that that might have played into it a little bit.
Just a thought.
Oh, okay. Well, coming in here with some real logic today, Simone. I like this. I
Thank
like
you.
this side of you. I don't know what you did to prep for this, but I'm digging it. So, um, Miranda and Melanie were, auditioning for all of these things. And the problem that they were having was they were told, like, you guys can't audition for these things together. Like, you can't both get this. You can't
Right.
audition for these things together. And that bothered them. So they decided, you know what? We're hitting the road. We're doing it on our own. So they decided to start doing their own social media and gained a pretty good following. They were,
Yep.
and that's when 7M sunk their juicy little teeth into them and started having them come for dinners and started recruiting them essentially. So, from my understanding and what I remember, is that Melanie and Miranda both went to some dinners and some other things.
Yep.
Melanie was kind of like, nah, I don't know what is going on here because,
Well, they
you know,
asked her to do something like not like she. Oh, remember Melanie's friend was there, and they called and told her, "You need to come to church right now. Like, go drop your friend off at the airport. You need to come." And she was like, "No, I'm not doing that."
yeah, it's just really weird stuff. Like to say that you're a church and to say that you're welcome here and all of these things, but you can't attend a service and they say, no, we want you to come right now. Forget whatever obligations you have. That was a big red flag to her. And kudos to Melanie. Like, thank you for being a very reasonable person and saying, like, hold on, this is weird. So
Right.
she didn't buy into this. However, her sister Miranda was all about it.
And she found a boyfriend.
She did. Let me
What's his
check.
name? Not
She's married
Aubrey.
to him now.
Aubrey's the other one.
Let
His,
me see. One second. I should have had this noted. I'm sorry.
I guess Melanie is getting married to some athlete, but I don't remember his name.
So her husband is James Derrick, aka B Dash.
That's Miranda's.
Yes, Miranda's, not Melanie's.
Right.
Melanie has a husband and all of that, or a fiance, and she's getting married. And look into that part, but um, she ends up getting with B Dash. She is sucked into that relationship, but also because she and B Dash participate in the 7M cult. We'll just call it what it is at this point. She's sucked in, and she starts following the church leader, which we're going to get into him here in just a second. But the church leader's words, pretty pretty strictly. She moves into this house and there's this huge separation, right? It almost to me gave me Scientology vibes. You know, when you hear about them disassociating from people who aren't a part of
Yeah.
Scientology, that's kind of what it reminded me of, except it's like supposed to be Christian. So I think Jesus wouldn't approve of that.
I don't I don't think so either.
So she ends up staying there. And I do want to point out Miranda and B Dash were not like in this documentary. They were, but previously recorded footage
Yeah.
used from lives that they've done, things like that. They did not actively participate in this documentary. Maybe you could say unwillingly participated. And I'm not really sure legally if that's allowed. Look, it's not my problem, but it just had me thinking, are they allowed to use all this stuff that's her? But
I
in
don't
the
know.
documentary. But that's the thing, man. Once you put it on social media, it's a wrap.
Oh, yeah, maybe because she had posted it or whatever, they could have it.
Yeah. So to summarize some of this and what we just talked about before we move into the church and stuff, which is where I really was hooked into all of this.
Yeah.
Not to say the dancers' stories and stuff weren't sad and they were manipulated financially. I do want to add that too. Many of these dancers have come forward. They've looked into their financial records and seen that they'd get these massive deposits, but they weren't able to they were not able to spend their money the way they wanted. Even one guy referenced if he wanted to get a pair of shoes, he'd have to ask his mentor
Yeah.
to see if it was approved or okay to do. And my thought is if you really need shoes, what if they say no?
Right.
Oh, like you're just like, cool. I guess that's what God wants for me. I don't know. So just to summarize, 7M Films and media company basically promised aspiring dancers fame and fortune through social media success, essentially. As far as what's happened since then, former members did share that they had dreams of becoming big stars. So that's why they wanted to do it. And that could be dangerous. If your desire for success or drive to get somewhere is greater than anything else,
Yep.
rationale comes second. And that makes sense.
That's
Have
how
you
they
ever
say cults are made.
have you ever experienced something like that?
Being in a cult?
No, no. Okay, fair enough. I said that right after you said the cult thing, but no, not that. But have you ever experienced something where your desire for that thing was greater than anything else, and so it didn't matter, no matter the potential risk or anything else?
I can't say I have.
Yeah, me either. I wonder if that just means we're not goal-driven individuals. Strong, strong possibility.
Yeah.
We may just not have that. But
That
okay,
drive. Yeah, I'm not sure I have. That's kind of sad.
yeah. Now we're just sad.
Well, you
Let us
brought
know
it.
down below, you
You
guys.
brought it up.
Are you sad right now? No, let us know down below. Have you ever had something that you wanted so badly? And it's just because I haven't. And so it's very difficult for me when I'm watching things and hearing stories like this or many others of this nature where I think to myself, how? How can someone be in that position where they need something or desire something so great or so much different than what they have that they're willing to throw it all away? Or was this just a matter of them not realizing what was happening, right? They were just truly that taken advantage of. But I don't know. I'm pretty picky about my money. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
what little I do have, maybe that's why. All right. So let's talk about the what church?
Shekinah.
Shekinah Church, which now that you say it right, it sounds really cool. But
I'm sure they're accepting
it's
new
not cool.
members.
Oh, yeah, well, of the two of us, I feel like higher odds that you do it than I do it. Also, just checking in real quick. Any success with visiting the dark web?
No, but it seems pretty accessible if I wanted to. But
Well,
I'm
I'm
not.
happy to see that you didn't since you were able to join us today, but
I resisted the urge. So
Well, anytime you choose to try and do that, don't
dabble
record it, but
on the dark web.
yep, go on the dark side. Maybe we can find something cool there. Just kidding, everybody. We're not going to the dark web. Okay, let me stop. I'm encouraging bad behavior.
You
So
are.
the Shekinah, what is it again? I can't.
Shekinah.
Shekinah. I can't. It's just not, it doesn't roll off the tongue. Shekinah.
Shekinah. How do you say it?
I have no idea. I don't want to say it wrong again. Shekinah. So this church, and that's how I'm going to refer to it from this moment on. The church. You all know. Uh, so in the documentary, you hear about the 7M company, and then you start thinking, who's running this? Who's in charge? There's got to be somebody in charge, right? Just like the Ashley
Always.
Madison thing.
Yep.
Got to be some whore rolling around
Yep.
somewhere. Just kidding. But no, he is truly a terrible person. His name is Robert Shin.
Robert Shin. Yep.
So he is the leader of 7M and the church.
Shekinah.
Yes. Yes. So he leads both of them. Now, as far as the church is concerned, very much leads that. As far as the company is concerned, sure does sound like he has everybody else doing a lot of work for him.
Mm-hmm.
In the documentary, they broke it down, this whole spider web, which I did not prepare for us here because
That's a lot.
that's a lot, you guys. Come on. We just did this. So there were this layer of people, and he has these other companies like little tea shops and coffee shops and things like that, where his dancers are working there for little to no money and then giving the money back because all of these church members and dancers and all the people participating are required to, what's that called? What do they refer to that? Tithing, right?
Yep. That's how I know that. I was also in a Christian cult. Just kidding.
That wasn't a cult. That was just regular church. You guys high-fived and had pizza parties, and it was all safe, and nobody was doing this stuff. Don't bring your old pastors down like that, dude. Come on.
Some of them deserve it. But
Oh, well, in
continue.
that case, proceed. So he had all these people, though, basically funding
His
all of his
life.
business ventures because all of it was almost 100% profit, right? First of all, it's church. Churches are protected. And I'm not saying that constitutionally they shouldn't be or whatever. That's not what we're here to talk about. But because it's considered a church, there's lots of tax loops. And since all of the revenue that's coming in is funneling through the church, I feel like that's dirty, right? That can't be right. And the tithings, the problem with this is people are willingly doing it.
Yep. Yeah, when they broke down that guy's paycheck, it was like he got like this little sliver of the pie.
I had some real PTSD moments there when they were doing that with my own paycheck. That's what happens. But all of those are labeled bills for me.
Bills. But he had to give some to God, some to the man of God, which is Robert Shin. And then I think he gave like 30% of his paycheck to tithing.
Yeah, and he said sometimes 50%. And what's crazy about that is, how do I become a person of God so I can be getting some tithings? No. But it's just an insane amount of money. And the fact that they're not even able to spend their own money the way they want outside of what they're donating to the church, it's just a crazy situation. So he has all of these things blurring lines between faith, talent management, and exploitation, quite frankly, because that's what he's doing to all of these members that are working for him for nothing. And they do it in a really, I hate to describe it this way, but business smart way, where they show it's little transactions here and there, and they're all paid out and to different companies and different things. And so it doesn't look sus, and it's just crazy. And I wonder about these people's taxes, to be honest, the dancers and stuff. And they didn't say anything about that, but I'm like, whoa, do you guys owe taxes? Because you didn't even take in any of that money. So
Church should have to
Um,
pay.
the thing that really bothers me about Robert and with this church following, because I'm sure all of you by now are like, wait a second, how is this guy like the man of God and this church leader? Well, he was preaching about the word of God and all of those things, which is totally fine. But while he was doing that, he was trying to gain this following. And throughout his entire life, Robert had been trying in business adventures to be successful on a multitude of levels. Even some of his family members trying to, get them into a music career, just all sorts of things. And he ends up using, I guess you could say, everyday life things just happening the way that they happen, and leveraging those as miracles of God, miracles that he
Yep.
basically performed or what am I looking for here? Facilitated, I guess. I don't know. And one of the examples was one of the girls had a skin rash or something, and she had been on doing medications and doing something, and then ended up getting baptized in the ocean. And right after the baptism, her rash started clearing up. And so he leverages that to the church members and everybody else to say, hey, see, this is what healing I do and God does and all of this stuff. Um,
What was her name? Do you remember?
I thought that was um
That was Priscilla's sister.
I thought that was Melanie, right? Melanie was the one with the rash. And
Go.
Priscilla at that point was kind of, so we'll introduce you to these sisters here in just a second. So end of the day, he was using these miracles, and that rash that we're describing, the story is, to your point, one of the sisters that is featured in this documentary, that they're victims of Robert Shin and this church like cult. And the thing is with this too is I felt like something like the whole thing with God and Jesus and churches, like they're humble and stuff. This guy is anything but.
Yeah.
Huge narcissist.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
He was pretty
So,
successful, though.
oh, well, yeah, he still is, which is what's insane to me. But Priscilla Lee and Melanie Lee were two young Korean immigrants. And they shared their experiences in the documentary, and it was stories of alleged SA, uh, emotional manipulation, like with that rash situation, and just really a very disturbing picture of what life's like in a cult. They had a very tough upbringing, which sets them up into this, right? They're very impressionable. Their mother was an addict. Their
Yep.
father was not present. They're searching for a family, for a sense of belonging and understanding and peace. So I understand how they could fall into something like this. And this is all happening prior to 7M, prior to the dance company. Okay. So they end up joining this cult in 2001, and they relocated to America from South Korea. And that was with their mother. So they were still dealing with that. They ended up stumbling into the religious institution with Robert Shin, being a little apprehensive. And then after the miracle happened and all of those things, they ended up really diving headfirst into this church and engulfing themselves in it.
Into the fold.
You said it, not me at this point. This was all you. So, what were your thoughts before we dive into kind of what their stories were, high level of what they experienced? What were your thoughts on the two girls and them joining this and all of that?
So I actually liked watching their story better than the. I thought their story was more interesting than the 7M dancers. I think they should have focused more on their stories.
I think so too. I mean, as much as the 7M dancers are victims, as is this Miranda, who's still, in the cult and all of that, while I can't appreciate that, I think that these women experienced a different level than
Mhm.
what some of these
Yeah.
others are. Now, Miranda may be now at this point, but some really chilling things. Uh, Melanie Melanie and Priscilla over the years at the church started doing jobs for Robert and the companies that he had. And if I remember correctly, Melanie, I don't remember what she did, but Priscilla was doing stuff with the mortgage, with his
Yeah.
mortgage company.
Melanie worked at like a coffee shop or something like that.
Yeah. So Melanie was facing what she says alleges are sexual advances from Robert, along with pressure to marry another church member.
Yeah.
And she was actually dating someone. She was dating someone that's not a member of the church, from the way I understood it. And she ends up marrying this person. He seems like a very nice gentleman. But she decides she's going to escape.
Yep. She decides to
S-
leave.
Yep. So she plans this escape and says, we're going to do it on this day. Then she gets this thing of, hey, you need to sleep with this person by this day. And she'd ask, how long do I have to decide? They ask, how long do you need? She gave them the time frame because she had already planned her escape. And they said, no, you get 2 days, 2 or 3 days or something. So she said, no, we're just going to do it right now. Well, she leaves. There was this confrontation, but she does get out. And her plan originally was, I'm going to go get my sister too. Even if we got to kidnap her, we're going to get her out of this, right? And she couldn't do that because at that point where her sister was separated from her and they didn't talk and couldn't see each other and all of those things. And so she realized, I'm going to have to try and call her. And she called her sister to say, hey, I'm leaving. I want to come get you. And her sister said, no, I'm going to stay.
Yep. That'd be so hard.
So, and Melanie is the younger of the two of them, and Priscilla is the older of the two of them. And so I thought it was kind of an interesting dynamic because it was the healing of Melanie's rash that got Priscilla so invested in the church and really bought into it. But I feel like Melanie might have already been there before Priscilla, but now Priscilla's not willing to leave. And I thought that was interesting. But
She
after so
stayed
many
in it
years,
for 23 years.
yeah,
That's
23
crazy.
years. That to me, and especially hearing what happened to her during that time frame and how poorly she was treated, how badly she was abused, all of those things. Um, I don't know. I just think like that was a 23-year prison sentence for her.
Mhm. Longer than that because you could tell she was pretty messed up when she got out of it.
Oh yeah. And completely understandably, but she had been over the years SA'd by Robert and fooled into thinking that this was something in some way for God. She had been attacked by Robert's wife because of the
Hannah,
relation,
when she came in and ripped down all Priscilla's stuff off the wall.
all of her Bible verses
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, it was really some hellish things that she had to endure. It hasn't been easy for her to rebuild her life, and I really hope that what we're about to share coming up here is turns out in her favor and stuff. But the Lee sisters, once she does decide to leave, they decide we're going to do a lawsuit. And um, they had already tried to sue at one point, but weren't successful for one reason or another. And so they decided we're going to do this again. And in order to build that lawsuit, the thing that irritates me is this is them suing someone who literally assaulted them.
Right.
Why do you need to sue someone for that? That is just against the law in general.
Yeah.
But who am I? Uh, so they're going to be in the process of doing that. And while they're in the process of doing that, the Wilkins family gets in touch with the sisters because they find out that there's this connection and the problems they've had. Because this whole time, while all of this is happening, the Wilkins family is trying to get their daughter out of this church/cult?
Miranda.
Hmm. And they've tried so many times in so many ways. And other dancers' families were featured as well, not as heavily as the Wilkins family or the Lee sisters, but they described the exact same thing where it was a very manipulative way that their family members were communicating with them, and it was very controlled and everything was very staged. So like Miranda stopped talking to them for a while, and then because of some of the poor press that 7M was getting when dancers were coming out and speaking out originally that this was like a cult and messed up and all of these things, he says this is all a lie. And the best way we can get around this is if you guys, instead of not talking to your family, which is what he originally told them to do, says you need to talk to your family.
Yep.
Got to start talking to your family, start talking to your parents and stuff. Don't talk about us, but you got to show up to Christmas even if you don't want to. You got to do these things. Save face.
Which Miranda did.
She did. And to this day, at least up until this documentary came out, I imagine that's probably going to change. But up to the point of, the filming of this documentary, they still had these meetings. And it seems like her sister is much more like, I'm not down for this. Her mother just seems completely, and I feel bad, but she seems very lost in all of this. And she just wants her daughter back. And so she's willing to do anything she can for
Not
that.
talk about what she's the Shekinah.
Yeah. And the Lee sisters actually said something to the Wilkins family's mother, because I don't remember her name. They had said, if you continue to just do this, because she said, well, the worst thing that could happen is if I don't see my daughter again.
Yeah.
But she's never going to leave where she's at if she still if she's not missing her family, if she's not, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it makes sense because I feel like it kind of falls into enabling. Like if you just pretend like it's not there, you're just enabling them.
So no matter how difficult it is or how heartbreaking it is to have to do that, you might need to get some success. So they're looking at taking some legal action, the family is. And once they found out that the Lees had this thing, as well as some of the other dancers that they approached, one of the dancers decided, I'm going to report it to the police because she had a very questionable interaction with Robert at one point and was like, you know what, given all of the other stories of SA and all of the other things, I'm going to report this because they were told you need more people to report that something's happened so then we can do something about it.
So messed up.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Not one victim isn't enough. I just think that's disgusting.
It's crazy. Like you said, like they have to sue them for that. It should just be like them in trouble.
I personally feel like there should be no statute of limitations when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I think at least for there to be a trial about it. I'm not saying that you should just be,
right.
Just, oh, well, you're guilty, but I'm just saying they shouldn't be able to look at something and say, well, this was, oh man, you know what? If he had just come in 3 months earlier, it would have been in the time frame, but we're just outside of that. It's just not going to work. I think that's a big problem. But the aftermath of all of this is leading to a bunch of legal battles. And so there is a civil case, which this is irritating. If you all have been here for the OJ episode that we had, you'll know about these civil cases, right? Which is different than a criminal case.
Right.
Criminal case, the criminal trial, OJ was found not guilty. The civil case that the families filed afterward, the Goldmans and the Browns, he was found guilty.
That doesn't
civil
make
case
any
is different.
sense.
I'm not going to even entertain to think that I understand our legal system. I know very little. But I do know what the difference is between innocent and guilty and all of those things. And I know a criminal case is different than a civil case. But nonetheless, there is a civil case set to go to trial in July. Now, here's the problem of 2025.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I get that we can't get to things sometimes and there's a backlog or something. This just the police have drugged this out, and in the meantime, this guy just
Keeps
continued,
living.
yeah, just living his best life. So, it's not going to be any criminal charges, although the Lee sisters, the dancers, people have tried to file criminal charges. They have done nothing about that. Um, Priscilla is, of course, looking to navigate her new life. She's got to a much better place in the documentary. She ends up visiting her dad in Korea, goes back, talks to him, gives him the old one too. I was like, get him, get him,
Yeah,
get him. She's like, no, this is all you, bro.
yeah,
So, I think that was really great. And of course, it's going to be a difficult process for her, I'm sure, but I wish her, her family, all of the victims the best, of course. And she's actually going to be trying to get her life together, which is great. Melanie, her sister, is, successful. She's, I guess you could say, acclimated a little bit better because she got out of the church earlier. She's in a healthy relationship, has a daughter,
yep.
all of those things. So really great things for them.
Did you
And
like
the
the
Wilkins, I did not. And the only reason why I didn't like the ending is because no justice.
I didn't like that that couple broke up. Melanie and Aubrey.
I get it to an extent,
Yeah,
because they got together when they were involved in that, and I feel like it's, like, damaged, right? It's like addicts. A lot of times if there's addicts and, things like that, eh, and they go into, say, rehab together, there's many times they come out and then they're no longer together. I feel like it's kind of one of those situations
yeah.
where it's like, we went through some stuff together and it was a good time. Kind of not most of the time. So,
Did
so
you
yeah.
see that one dancer was Beyonce's backup dancer?
Yes.
On
And
Preet?
so there are a lot of dancers in this that, of course, once they left this cult, uh, had their challenges and had to really find what drives them. And once they did, a lot of them are very successful. They're all doing things, whether it be with the community, with Beyonce,
Right.
who, ooh, conspiracy has it, she's Illuminati.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
I don't know about this whole country thing she's doing. What is that?
She had like the #1 country song for a long time. This ain't Texas. This ain't Hold'em. Da 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 da
Did she
da
say
da.
might as well fold them?
She's
Break a bit of the fold. So we wanted to make sure that you guys knew what was going on with this. You kind of heard what our thoughts were. It was a pretty good documentary. I would recommend it if you haven't seen it. You listen to this whole thing and are like, wow, I got little tidbits and I'm interested in it. All in all, right now, we do have the most recent report is Miranda has posted that she's been getting the old never see tomorrow threats.
yeah, good
Um,
good description.
which is very she's a victim in this, everybody. So I just want to put this out there. Any story we cover, anything that we're talking about, please don't message people. And also, no, I guarantee you these people don't care
Right.
if you message them. But this is so inappropriate. This person is a victim. Save that stuff for not people. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Just don't do that. Don't message people. Don't send hate to people.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So she's still in it. We'll have to just wait and see if she comes out. I have a feeling if should she leave, there will be something.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some piping hot tea.
Okay. I think so too.
It will be tea time for us. So let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you think about Dancing for the Devil. If you have seen it, what you think about some of these things around, God, quite frankly, our legal system and Robert Shin and the manipulation that he's done throughout this whole thing. It's just, It's sad.
Crazy.
It's real sad.
Yeah.
Now, I did say I have a question for you. And before I ask this question, I am going to fill the audience in on what's going on with our schedule.
Oh, yeah.
So Simone is going to abandon us all.
Yeah.
That's what she's going to do
For a week.
for a whole week, and her family. Just kidding. No, it's with her family. Which, is it a vacation?
I
You
don't think so.
So what are you doing? What are you ditching all of us for? What are you extending this break for us? Because it'll be a 2-week lapse, you guys. I'm sorry about that, but
I'm going to the happiest or the second happiest place on earth. I feel like Disney World's the happiest and Disneyland's the second. Right?
oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, what's the first? But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So you're going to the second happiest place on earth?
Yeah, I'm going to the land.
She's going to the land of the Disney, everybody. So maybe she'll come back. I also want to let you guys know, I'm sure you noticed we're not on video. We did say that we were going to do that. One of our little Smokies had a bit of an issue today, had to be rushed to the veterinarian, and has been quite the little terror to take care of. He is fine. He's doing well. Fear not. We don't need to replace the little Smoky, but it made it so that we weren't able to do video. So when Simone does return, we will be on video on our next episode, and we will, by special request of an audience member, we are actually going to be covering the Clayton Etchard paternity lawsuit. The Bachelor Nation.
Bachelor Nation, yep.
Case of the century. Or has there been a Bachelor case ever?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Well, if there was, my uneducated self doesn't know about it. And so this is the only one that I know of. And so someone requested that we cover this. So we're going to actually dive pretty deep into this. There's actually a trial taking place right now. They actually just went into court the other day. So please tune in the next couple of weeks for that. And we're going to close out here in just a second. Simone, my last question.
Which is a rule I can't ask you.
Yes, cannot ask me this. I will not be providing my answer.
Okay.
Also, you could probably imagine. If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, but you had to wear a silly costume while doing it, what food would you choose? And what would your costume be?
So my favorite food that I would eat for the rest of my life?
Yep.
Well, last time I said this to people, I was judged, mocked, ridiculed. I would eat Cincinnati chili.
And for the audience, let's share, what is Cincinnati chili?
It's spaghetti noodles with like chili with kidney beans on top. My mom makes it so good.
But what's the other special part about that?
Well, that would make me poop my pants.
No. Didn't you say there was chocolate in it?
Yeah, it's made with like, what's it called? Not chocolate. Maybe it is chocolate.
Okay, and what would your costume be?
I would wear a hot dog suit.
Hey, there you go. You would dress up as a cup of milk?
No, you could do that.
I'll be a gallon of milk, don't worry. No, so we will be on next time. And Simone.
Yeah.
You said you'd be better this time.
You promised. I wasn't better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made a promise I can't keep.
So you don't have a special foreign goodbye?
No. I'll be better.
This commitment. If you fail to keep it.
I'll be better. I maybe promise.
Maybe we just stay away from that. We'll just, we'll see if Simone has a special goodbye for us next time. But throw us a like, hit us with a subscribe, share this with your friends or family, or keep us your dirty little secret. Your choice.
I like that
we
song.
appreciate you stopping by. Oh, you would.
What? I'll keep you my dirty little secret. Bye. Bye-bye. your pants.